This young man, out of pity for the fate of a character in the game, slammed his fists on the table, wanting to find a way to save that character. How on earth did the half-drunk glass of water on the table spill directly onto the keyboard, causing the young man to immediately experience a crossover into the game, transforming into the third son of the final boss of this world? To make matters worse, the golden finger that had just appeared a moment ago quickly flew away to another place due to too many people crossover, leaving the young man standing in the middle of the battlefield with the formidable opponent of this body. He himself didn't know a bit of martial arts, while his opponent was an expert, capable of defeating a bunch of martial arts experts with one strike. With no other choice, the young man had to humble himself to find a way to survive, diligently using his verbal skills to entice a wealthy woman to support him. In the pitch-black night, the sound of footsteps rustled in the silent space, slowly approaching the ruined house. That group of people stopped when they saw someone in front of them. The leader shouted loudly, "Leave the person behind." The body of the white-haired girl emitted a chilling aura of evil energy. She whispered softly, "Those who stand in my way will die." The leader, of course, was not afraid. He ordered his subordinate, "No need to waste words with her. Kill." The command had just ended when the group immediately charged towards Ranqing Mo. She calmly raised her sword, easily blocking the attack from the man. Taking advantage of his moment of vulnerability, her sharp blade sliced through. All the members of the group were sent flying by Ranqing Mo with just a light flick of her hand. The leader struggled to maintain his footing, shouting loudly, "In this fighting situation, we definitely cannot be her match." He pinched with 2 fingers, and the subordinates followed his gesture. He roared, "Form the battle formation." The combined strength of their group created the spirit of a gigantic wolf. Ranqing Mo merely glanced at them casually. Under the power of the formation they had just created, the leader became even more arrogant, saying, "Under our formation, even if you are a grandmaster, don't expect to escape unscathed." Ranqing Mo's face turned cold. She tightened her grip on the sword, infused a bit of her strength into it, and swung the sword directly at the formation. A decisive slash split the formation they had created in 2. The faces of the individuals instantly drained of color. With the formation shattered, the weak subordinates could not withstand the overwhelming power and were sent flying far away. The trembling leader said in shock, How can this be?" As soon as the words ended, fresh blood spurted out, and his body was torn in half. Ranqing Mo gently sheathed her sword. She closed her eyes to feel the immense power surging within her. It turned out that all the events that had just unfolded were displayed on a small screen. A voice filled with admiration rang out, "No wonder it's Ranqing Mo, the way she effortlessly handled the situation is so impressive." He clutched his chest in excitement and began to introduce himself. "My name is Su Yuan, a hardcore gamer currently attempting to conquer all achievements in the game Sang Yuan." Su Yuan rubbed his chin and muttered, "A girl as good as Ranqing Mo, why does every outcome lead to her death?" He slammed his hand on the table. "Is it really true that only hacking can save her?" A cup of water tipped over due to the sudden jolt, spilling into a corner of the keyboard. The leaking electricity immediately surged out, causing Su Yuan's body to convulse violently. He was inadvertently sucked into the screen in front of him. Moments later, the electric shocks gradually diminished and then ceased completely. The scene before him once again became desolate. Raindrops fell one by one. Su Yuan slowly opened his eyes and immediately clutched his head, shouting, "My head hurts too much. Wasn't I just playing games in my room?" Suddenly, Su Yuan froze when his gaze accidentally landed on something. Looking at the subordinates from earlier sprawled on the ground, he stammered in shock, "B-bodies, am I dreaming? Damn it, what is going on here?" Su Yuan instinctively stepped back until his head bumped into something large and round. He rubbed his face against it, mumbling, "What is this? It's so big and soft." Ranqing Mo furrowed her brow and pushed Su Yuan off her chest, saying, "You're blocking my way." Su Yuan looked at the girl in front of him and thought to himself, "Beautiful, so beautiful, she looks just like a fairy from the sky. No, this isn't the time to be infatuated." He awkwardly explained, Let me explain. I don't want to block your way. I also didn't see anything happening here." A slash was swung just as Su Yuan was speaking. He froze, slowly turning his face to look behind him as the slash cut through the massive Buddha statue. Su Yuan trembled, wondering, does this Buddha statue move on its own? Moreover, was it trying to ambush me just now? Even when split in half, the statue still tried to remind him, "Third young master, run quickly." As soon as it finished speaking, it collapsed, turning into a mass of lifeless stone. Looking at Ranqing Mo's back in front of him, Su Yuan held his head in despair. Isn't this exactly like when the third young master of the minister was kidnapped by Ranqing Mo in Sang Yuan? In other words, I have crossed over into the game and become the third son of the final boss. Furthermore, I am the most miserable supporting character in 25 different worlds, killed 25 times in various ways. At this moment, Su Yuan had become Su Chang Tian in the game. He hesitantly asked, "Does this mean you are?" Ranqing Mo replied indifferently, "Ranqing Mo." Su Chang Tian's face immediately twisted in disbelief. It all fits, it all makes sense. Damn it, not only did I cross over, but why did I have to cross over into the role of such a useless supporting character? Don't panic. After all, I am an experienced player who has played countless games. I've seen this kind of crossover set up many times. As long as you're a crossover person, you will definitely have a golden finger, some kind of system. As Su Chang Tian finished speaking, the system appeared. Congratulations player 114514, crossover successful, connecting you to the system. He exclaimed with joy. Great, I knew it would be like this. The system screen displayed a few lines of text. The system is entering data, calculating the ranking of the crossover person. We apologize for the recent influx of crossover individuals. Player 114514 has not yet connected to the system. You have received eligibility as a thank you for your support. After reading this, Su Chang Tian rushed to grab the system, shouting. What kind of system are you supporting that just got halfway out and then came back? It calmly replied to him. In order to thank player 114514 for your brave crossover act, we grant the function to unlock and preview all achievements. Su Chang Tian questioned. What good is unlocking and previewing all achievements? The system answered. It's not useful at all, but you can view the entire storyline of achievements that you have previously completed at any time. After hearing this, he angrily shouted. What do I need this for? However, before the explosion of Su Chang Tian, the system only left a message, thank you for using it, we look forward to your next crossover, and then disappeared. He cursed, damn it, come back here. The surrounding space suddenly fell silent. Su Chang Tian turned back to look at Ranqing Mo. She coldly said, follow me. Knowing he had no other choice, he followed Ranqing Mo deeper into the forest. Su Chang Tian thought to himself, letting this girl kidnap me means I'm definitely heading for death. I need to find a way to break this situation. I've figured it out. The purpose of this iceberg is to capture me to persuade my boss's father to prepare for the impending war. At this moment, Su Chang Tian finally spoke up, Mrs. Ran, I know your purpose. You want to use me to threaten my father into sparing the 40,000 disciples of the sword sect. His words left her stunned. Under Su Chang Tian's astonished gaze, Ranqing Mo emitted a surge of evil energy, her voice icy as she asked, how do you know? He swallowed nervously, crap, it seems I said something wrong. For players, it's obvious that the Prime Minister would know about the destruction of the Tian Yuan sword sect, but for people from this world, that's a closely guarded secret. At this time, the sect master of the sword sect was still the esteemed imperial preceptor of the De Yen dynasty, a longtime associate and old friend of his father, the Chancellor. The Chancellor wanted to destroy the sword sect, and it seemed that even the sect master of the sword sect wouldn't believe it. But this statement came from the mouth of the second-generation ancestor, who only knew how to indulge in pleasure, and this image completely collapsed. In short, he needed to soothe Ranqing Mo's emotions first before addressing anything else. With that thought, Su Chang Tian hurriedly tried to mitigate the situation. Don't be tense, you don't need to worry about how I know. I just want to have a civil conversation with you. The sword was lifted by Ranqing Mo as she slowly approached him without saying a word. A powerful slash headed straight for Su Chang Tian. He stared in shock, a thought ringing in his mind, am I going to die like this? Dewdrops fell from the lush green leaves, making a soft pattering sound. Su Chang Tian's face was drenched in cold sweat as he slowly opened his eyes. He swallowed hard, his thoughts becoming sluggish. I I'm still alive, that must have been an illusion that Ranqing Mo used on me. It seems that is a warning for me. Ranqing Mo stood a distance away from Su Changtian, then suddenly jumped closer to him. She pressed the sharp blade of her sword against Su Changtian's neck and coldly asked, "How do you know? Are you involved too?" Numbers immediately popped into his head. "No, I must think of a way, otherwise I will really die." Su Changtian reached out to touch the sharp blade while calmly saying, "Mrs. Ran, you seem quite surprised. It makes sense, a secret of this magnitude, how could my father allow a useless person like me to know about it? However, Mrs. Ran, compared to being the third son of my father like I am even more curious about how a disciple of the sword sect like you knows this secret." The dark clouds in the sky gradually dispersed, revealing a strange blue light, and a bolt of lightning struck behind Ranqing Mo. She frowned and asked, "What do you mean by that?" Su Changtian, seeing this, thought to himself, "Useful, keep up the attack." After thinking, he spoke again, "What do I mean? Considering achievements, the Dayan dynasty has existed for over 1,300 years. The Tian Yuan sword sect was established concurrently with the founding of Dayan. Each generation's sect master is the imperial preceptor of Dayan. The sect master is currently also the master of the martial path for the crown prince. The sword sect and Dayan share blessings and endure calamities together. In terms of connections, my father and the master of Mrs. Ran have been old friends for decades. Mrs. Ran is a disciple of the sword sect's sect master. Whose words could make you believe that my father would take action against the sword sect? Don't you see the problem?" Su Changtian's words surprised Ranqing Mo slightly. She fell silent, deep in thought. He woke up as if he had become a different person. His heart was racing, he wasn't as calm as he appeared. Seeing that Ranqing Mo said nothing, he pushed the sword down a little further and continued, "Mrs. Ran, an unexecuted threat is just a joke. We can talk, I can help you. Put away your sword." She looked at Su Changtian, silently assessing him. Very different from the useless person in the rumors. His heartbeat gradually stabilized. What does he know, and what trump card does he hold? Letting out a sigh, Ranqing Mo waved her hand to retract the sword. She decisively placed it back into its sheath. That action made Su Changtian's eyes sparkle. He admired and thought. So cool, way cooler than watching on the computer. Suddenly, Ranqing Mo turned her back and picked up a small stick. Su Changtian, standing beside her, called out softly in confusion, "Mrs. Ran, wait a minute." Before he could finish his sentence, he received a solid hit on the forehead from a piece of wood. Ranqing Mo held the stick in her hand, her expression unchanged. Su Changtian's eyes gradually became hazy. Before losing consciousness, he faintly heard her voice, talkative. A moment later, it was pouring rain in a small cave located in a desolate area. Su Changtian stirred awake, holding his head and grimacing, "My head hurts too much." In front of him sat Ranqing Mo silently, with cold wind blowing in from the cave entrance. Su Changtian shivered, thinking to himself, "This body is too cold, this woman turns on a dime faster than flipping a book." Su Changtian looked at Ranqing Mo and pouted, muttering, "Is it really necessary to bring a wooden stick to this place?" Just then, a system window appeared beside him. Looking at the images it displayed, Su Changtian thought, no wonder throughout the entire storyline, the third young master always dies on the way when kidnapped. This stupid woman knocked out the patient with a stick. Still enduring the pouring rain, Su Changtian's face darkened. He looked at Ranqing Mo and asked in a strained voice, "Do you want me to die here?" She stared at him and shook her head. Su Changtian, frustrated, snapped, "If you don't want me to freeze to death, then help me start a fire." Ranqing Mo calmly replied, "But I've run out of flint." He shouted, "Then use your energy." Su Changtian drew upon all the knowledge he had gained while playing games to think. The energy present in this world can almost be described as a universal source of power. Although this aspect isn't shown in the game Song Yuan, for someone like Ranqing Mo with top-tier combat power, starting a fire should be quite simple. Ranqing Mo complied and used her energy to shape a block of ice. Su Changtian could only gape at what appeared before him as she handed it to him. She innocently asked, "My energy can only create ice, is that okay? Su Changtian threw the block of ice away and exclaimed in despair, I'm sick, I need a fire, warm water, and food. In response to his ramblings, Ranqing Mo simply turned her head away without saying anything. Su Changtian gritted his teeth and cursed under his breath, damn it, this body can't hold on any longer. He leaned forward helplessly, his face inadvertently pressing against Ranqing Mo's chest. Su Changtian drowsily thought, my body feels weightless. So soft, am I delirious from a fever? Ranqing Mo cast a cold glance at him. In the pouring rain, Su Changtian gradually lost consciousness, while he had slowly accepted his fate. I didn't expect to go offline as soon as I arrived here. Su Changtian felt as if he had fallen into a place surrounded entirely by water. He drowsily pondered, is this the feeling of death? Not too bad. What is this? So sweet. It turned out that it was Ranqing Mo pouring water for Su Changtian to drink. He woke up, his voice somewhat sluggish, am I not dead yet? Then, Su Changtian suddenly felt astonished, Ranqing Mo, she is saving me. At that moment, Ranqing Mo still maintained a sincere demeanor, pouring water into his mouth without stopping. Su Changtian choked, quickly sitting up, coughing a few times, let me go, what are you feeding me? As he lifted his face, his body felt as if it had frozen, his pale face devoid of any color. What is this? In front of Su Changtian was a gigantic dark red snake with an extremely terrifying face. Noticing the block of ice piercing through its body, he realized, this snake is pinned to the ground by an ice stake. At that moment, Ranqing Mo casually said a word, drink. She grabbed the water bottle she had thrown towards him. Su Changtian frowned in thought, so this thing is what the ice block has obtained to save me? Suddenly, a pile of dry firewood fell in front of him. He watched as Ranqing Mo slowly arranged them into a pile. Su Changtian silently wondered, how can such damp wood catch fire? However, right after that, to Su Changtian's astonished gaze, Ranqing Mo grabbed the tongue of the giant snake and commanded, breathe fire for me. He naively exclaimed in his mind, what a huge python. Ranqing Mo waited for a while but saw no reaction from the large snake. She snatched the water bottle from Su Changtian's hand, held it up to the snake's horn, and collected the dripping water from it. At this moment, Su Changtian finally realized, looking closely, the flame spiritual liquid has many functions. It can be considered as an auxiliary medicine for refining some pills, for cleansing the marrow and expelling cold diseases. The sound of the beast's roar echoed. Moreover, the lustful demon beasts were terrified of death, accompanied by an effect that stimulated estrus. Furthermore, it seemed that this was also one of the ingredients for the harmony powder supreme treasure in the evil Tao world. Suddenly, Su Changtian heard a rustling sound. He quickly turned his head to look. He saw Ranqing Mo taking off her clothes, and Su Changtian blushed and shouted, what are you doing? He awkwardly made up a reason to reassure himself, could it be the arousal effect of these demon beasts? The snake quickly generated flames, causing the pile of wood to catch fire. Su Changtian stroked his chin and analyzed, although the 2.5D pixel art transitioning to first-person view changed a lot, if I'm not mistaken, this one is probably the Flame Spirit Boa. The Flame Spirit Boa is a rare fire attribute monster with a certain level of spiritual intelligence. Defeating it would allow one to capture it as a treasure and then train it into a flame spirit python. In front of Su Changtian's shy face, Ranqing Mo simply walked past coldly. She held out her shirt towards the snake and commanded, dry the clothes. Although the snake felt very wronged, it ultimately had to spit fire to dry them quickly. Seeing such a scene, Su Changtian finally let out a sigh of relief. So you want to dry your clothes, huh? After a while, Ranqing Mo sat in silence, meditating. Meanwhile, Su Changtian touched the clothes on his body and gritted his teeth, thinking to himself, damn it, I want to dry my clothes quickly too. He walked over to the snake, hoping to get it to help dry his clothes, but it stubbornly refused. Su Changtian pointed at Ranqing Mo behind him and smirked arrogantly. Sweat poured down the snake's head as it finally had to breathe fire in frustration. Su Changtian squinted and smiled in satisfaction, you, beast, still have to help me dry my clothes. Suddenly, the snake's eyes gleamed with a cold light, and it let out a roar, forcefully spitting fire at him. Su Changtian could only stand there, wide-eyed, as his body failed to react. What? However, just as the flames were about to reach him, a sharp sword quickly descended, severing the snake's tongue. Ranqing Mo had stepped in front of Su Changtian. She coldly delivered another fatal strike, causing the snake to scream in pain. Fresh blood spurted out. The head of the snake was severed from its neck. At this moment, Ranqing Mo turned back to question Su Changtian, "What are you doing?" Su Changtian stood there in shock, not answering. He began to recall that in the storyline of Tsang Yuan, the third young master of the Su family had a total of 9 ways to die when he was kidnapped by Ranqing Mo. Each method of death was different, dying from hypothermia was just one of them. Drowning in a spring, falling off a cliff, being beaten to death with a wooden stick. Now that he thought about it, these abstract ways of dying were not coincidental. Someone wants to make me die in the Wanxing Mountains. He swallowed hard, looked at Ranqing Mo, and said in a deep voice, "Mrs. Ran, we need to talk." She slowly sheathed her sword and nodded, "All right, go ahead." Su Changtian secretly breathed a sigh of relief. "It's good that she's willing to listen to me, I was afraid she would hit me again." Regaining his serious demeanor, he began to speak, "Mrs. Ran, what I want to say is very simple. For the sake of my life and yours, it is best that we cooperate. I know that many people want me dead because of my father, but the demon beasts in the Wanxing Mountains are not influenced by him. But the flame spirit Boa, with an extremely cowardly personality, was pierced through in a dire situation yet still desperately wanted to kill me. Mrs. Ran, don't you find this very strange? Someone wants me dead on the way to being captured by you. If I truly die, your purpose of using me to threaten my father to stop will no longer be achievable." After hearing this, Ranqing Mo's face remained expressionless. She slowly said, "But, you have no aura." Upon hearing this, Su Changtian was startled, and his mind immediately became tangled. That's right, in Ranqing Mo's eyes, an ordinary person without aura is no different from an ant. He tried to defend himself, "Don't misunderstand, the cooperation I mentioned is not about fighting, you must have a map of the Wanxing mountain range, right?" Ranqing Mo nodded. Su Changtian continued, "As long as we can determine where we currently are, I can provide a hiding place." Holding the map in one hand and opening the system with the other, Su Changtian suddenly felt relieved. Fortunately, the system's achievements still include the map function. Although the details are somewhat different, the overall picture remains consistent. Su Changtian pointed to a spot on the map and said to Ranqing Mo, "This location is where my father took me and my 2 brothers to the Wanxing mountain range when I was young. He has a cultivation cave here, filled with many cultivation resources, enough for the 2 of us to live there for a long time." Ranqing Mo asked softly, "Does your father know about it too?" Su Changtian squinted and smiled, "What else is there to worry about? In front of a cultivator like you, I have nothing to hide." She fell silent for a moment. Finally, Ranqing Mo turned around and nodded, "All right, let's go." The rain outside the forest continued to pour down. Ranqing Mo walked ahead coldly, while Su Changtian huffed behind her. The 2 kept walking without stopping. An hour later, Su Changtian was so exhausted that he could barely walk. He angrily threw the wooden staff he was holding to the ground and shouted, "If you don't know the way, then don't lead me around aimlessly." Then he gritted his teeth and scolded himself, "I'm so foolish to expect an idiot to discern directions in the wilderness." He turned to Ranqing Mo and said, "Take me to the highest point around here to have a look. Perhaps we can distinguish the location." She nodded in agreement upon hearing that. Ranqing Mo waved his hand to gather energy, and immediately both of them flew off the ground, causing Su Changtian to scream in fear, his face paling. At that moment, she reached out to grasp his shoulder. Ranqing Mo gathered energy to create a block of ice beneath their feet along with an umbrella for rain protection. She glanced at Su Changtian and casually asked, "From this height, can you see clearly now?" He regained his composure and looked towards the distant mountains. Su Changtian opened the map and said, "Let me compare the current location carefully, that is Tianmen Mountain." Ranqing Mo asked, "The cultivation cave, you mean it's up there?" He quickly nodded in response, "That's right." Su Changtian recalled some knowledge he had. The Cultivation Cave is a hidden location in the Zhongyuan world, and the activation conditions are quite old. Jumping down from Tianmen Mountain, the fortune must exceed 80, after jumping down, one can enter. The fortune of this third young master is only 3, even jumping 100 times won't allow entry, but now with Ranqing Mo. With the strength of this iceberg, it can definitely protect itself from falling safely. Looking back at Ranqing Mo, Su Changtian suggested, let's go, we will head to Tianmen Mountain now. She replied indifferently, all right. Then, in the blink of an eye, Ranqing Mo disappeared, and the umbrella along with the block of ice beneath their feet melted away. Su Changtian, lacking strength, immediately fell off the cliff. His panicked scream echoed throughout the desolate mountains, reflecting the somewhat dazed expression of Ranqing Mo. She quickly raised her hand to gather chi towards Su Changtian. Instantly, a gust of wind rushed to catch his body. Ranqing Mo touched Su Changtian's back. She carried him in a princess carry and landed safely. Su Changtian looked at Ranqing Mo with a horrified expression. She coldly released him, making him groan in pain, ouch. Ranqing Mo coldly turned away and said, let's go. Su Changtian was taken aback, do you mean we're walking there? She frowned and glanced at him, what else would we do? Su Changtian hurriedly asked, don't you know how to fly? If we walk, it will take at least over 10 days. Ranqing Mo innocently said, but I can't fly, just now it was the ice cloud skill of mine. He irritably snapped, this isn't the time to quibble over names, if you can take me flying, isn't that enough? She silently shot him a sharp glance, making him shiver. Why are you looking at me like that? Ranqing Mo calmly explained, your body is too weak, taking you flying too fast will cause it to break apart. Su Changtian pondered while stroking his chin, indeed, the physical quality of cultivators in this world far exceeds what is known on Earth. With my fragile young master body, being taken away by Ranqing Mo would surely send me to heaven early. Suddenly, he had an idea, if that's the case, then let's find a demon beast for me to ride instead of walking. Ranqing Mo gave Su Changtian a thumbs up, makes sense. He happily nodded in agreement with his own plan. After finalizing the approach, she took a run up and jumped straight into the sky to search for a monster. Su Changtian stayed behind, letting out a sigh of relief, while thinking to himself, fortunately, Ranqing Mo reacted in time, if she really took me away at that speed, my little life would definitely be left behind here. At that moment, a deafening roar echoed from deep within the forest. The animals scattered in all directions. Su Changtian's gaze sharpened. A single roar can send all the beasts fleeing. How exactly is Ranqing Mo capturing demon beasts? The terrifying howl of the demon beast grew more and more unsettling. After listening for a while, Su Changtian muttered, it seems like the sound of this demon beast is getting weaker. The bushes in front of him rustled as footsteps approached. Ranqing Mo appeared, leading a bruised demon beast. She calmly asked, is it okay? Looking at the demon beast, its face twisted with anger and evil energy, Su Changtian swallowed hard. It seems like it's not cooperating very well. Hearing this, Ranqing Mo turned to look at it. The fierce expression vanished, and the demon beast even became docile, letting out a harmless meow. She picked up a wooden stick and said, wait a moment. Immediately, the forest was filled with the sounds of clashes and the agonized cries of the demon beast. At the same time, back at the desolate house, bodies lay scattered on the ground as a strange man and woman appeared. The red-haired young man squatted down, observing carefully, then clicked his tongue, what a disaster, it seems the kidnapper of the third young master is not simple at all. The young woman beside him asked softly, do you recognize who did it? He shook his head, how could I recognize them? It was all just ordinary sword chi slashes, not even a proper sword skill was used. Hearing this, a thought flashed in her eyes, did they form a formation? He nodded, that's right, but they were still cut down by the opponent in one move. The young woman looked at the back of the young man and asked, can you do it? He made a judgment, as for this, at least this spiritual item statue, if I use primordial energy, a single sword strike cannot break it. That person might be stronger than me. The red-haired young man sighed and continued, the elder young master has proactively come from the imperial capital to Jingjiang City because of the third young master's matter. Right now, there are already quite a few deaths in the city. You should go back and report to him, the one behind this might be a grandmaster. The young woman asked in confusion, what about you? He replied solemnly, of course, I will continue the pursuit. I will bring the third young master with me. Even if you are a grandmaster, you still can't run fast. On the way, I will leave signs for others. Remember to go quickly and come back quickly, otherwise, by the time you catch up, I might have turned into a corpse. After saying this, he quickly chased after the remaining footprints on the ground. She watched his figure for a long time without saying another word. Turning back towards the forest where Su Changtian and Ranqing Mo were standing, the sound of rustling leaves filled the air. On the demon beast's back, a few lumps appeared from being hit. It cried without tears, only knowing to obediently carry the two people on its back forward. Su Changtian seemed uneasy and looked up to ask Ranqing Mo, are you sure this tiger won't suddenly bite me? She waved the stick in her hand and coldly replied, it doesn't dare. He lowered his head and nodded, I just have this feeling of insecurity, but it's better if I walk myself. Suddenly, Su Changtian felt a sharp pain in his heart. He clutched his chest and coughed up blood in agony, startling Ranqing Mo beside him, what's wrong with you? The pain from his body made Su Changtian grit his teeth, and he told himself, damn it. The game didn't mention that the third young master had this ailment. What on earth happened to this trash body? The shock from the steps of the demon beasts caused Su Changtian to be thrown off its back. Ranqing Mo anxiously called out, Su Changtian, Su Changtian. After a moment, Su Changtian opened his eyes wide, coming to his senses. He slowly sat up on the back of the demon beasts, hearing a familiar voice beside him, you're awake. He glanced at her standing alone next to a nearby tree, then jumped down onto the white snow. Su Changtian hesitantly asked, how long have I been in a coma? Ranqing Mo replied nonchalantly, 4 days. He quickly opened the system window, various questions flashing through his mind. What exactly is this condition? I've never encountered a similar state while gaming before, this doesn't seem like poisoning. With my father here, no one would dare to play with the lives of the 9 clans. Could it be that I awakened some special physical trait? Is it the spirit body of a pregnant sword or something, like the soul and divine bone? Could it be that my golden finger has just been activated? Just as he was feeling pleased with himself, a cold voice came from behind Su Changtian, has your rejection symptom finally ended? He jolted, simultaneously recalling something. The realm reaches primordial, using martial arts to enter, shedding blood for rebirth can make the body immortal. Using chi to enter, the soul can leave the body and be seized. Indeed, this worldview has a takeover setup. I didn't expect this crossover between worlds could also cause rejection symptoms for him. Su Changtian quickly turned around, forcing a smile at Ranqing Mo, Mrs. Ran, what do you mean? She immediately exposed him, you are not Su Changtian. His gaze instinctively darkened, beads of sweat forming. Right now, I only have 2 paths, to admit or to deny. If I deny, what excuse should I use to deceive her? If I admit, then what will the consequences be? Thinking this, Su Changtian turned back, moving towards the demon beasts, pulling out a water bottle from his bag. He tilted his head back and drank deeply, finally looking directly into Ranqing Mo's eyes, coldly asking, does it matter to you whether I am Su Changtian or not? Upon hearing this, she glanced away as if contemplating something. A moment later, Ranqing Mo casually replied, it doesn't matter. But why don't you understand cultivation? Su Changtian pointed to his head and replied, because my memories are very incomplete, many things are fragmented. Her voice lowered, including the cultivation cave you mentioned. He nodded, of course. Ranqing Mo hesitated and asked, so how did you learn about the sword sect? Hearing this, Su Changtian smiled awkwardly and avoided the question, Mrs. Ran, didn't we agree not to delve deeper into this matter? Moreover, that person cannot be swayed in their decision because of me, Su Changtian. Ranqing Mo coldly struck the wooden stick in her hand. Su Changtian immediately flinched and explained, I have no intention of fleeing, you should put down the stick. If you really want to prevent the sword sect from being destroyed, there are better ways. If you change your mind, I can help you at any time. She coldly refused, no need. Suddenly, the ground where they stood shook violently. Su Changtian jumped up, tightly hugging the demon beast with a frightened expression. What's happening? An earthquake? Ranqing Mo gently shook her head. No. In the white snow, a huge black figure appeared. She parted her lips. It's coming. Su Changtian asked in surprise, what is coming? The fierce-looking boa appeared right before them. It flicked its long tongue and growled. Ranqing Mo introduced lightly, 7-life boa. Su Changtian stared at the 7-life boa, his heart racing. 1, 2, 3, 6. It's the 6-turn 7-life boa. The 7-life boa can shed its skin and transform 7 times. On the 7th time, it will truly take on human form. Its cultivation speed is no different from that of the human clan. Moreover, the most important thing is that this giant boa will one day be one of the female leads. After the 7th shedding and transformation into a human, it will go to the Deyan dynasty, become a legal Lolita, change its name to Ji Qingyu, and meet the protagonist of the story in Jingjiang City. Why? Why is this plot point appearing? The female lead shouldn't encounter the 3rd young master here, should she? While Su Changtian was still lost in thought, the 7-life boa lunged at him. It swung its spiky tail down directly toward Su Changtian. Just as the situation became critical, Ranqing Mo appeared beside him, scolding him. What are you still standing there for? She embraced Su Changtian, sprang up, and dodged a deadly blow from the 7-life boa. Ranqing Mo threw him far away, and Su Changtian's body collided with a demon beast, wanting to escape amidst the chaos. Ranqing Mo coldly ordered, protect him, if he gets hurt, you'll know my wrath. The demon beast immediately bowed and obeyed the command. She threw the small sword she had just conjured toward Su Changtian and said, catch it. You go ahead, if it makes any unusual moves, crush it. He looked at her worriedly and asked, what about you? At that moment, Ranqing Mo was facing the giant 7-life boa. She coldly replied, kill her. As she finished speaking, Ranqing Mo delivered a slash towards it, causing a strong tremor that made the demon beast stagger, but it quickly regained its balance and ran away. Su Changtian turned back and shouted, I will wait for you at Xian Tian Cliff on Tianmen Mountain. Using the sword to block the attacks from the 7-life boa, Ranqing Mo refused, no need. Su Changtian's eyes shone with determination as he stubbornly shouted, I said, I will wait for you at Xian Tian Cliff. His words made Ranqing Mo pause unexpectedly. She looked at Su Changtian and softly replied, all right. Taking advantage of Ranqing Mo's unpreparedness, the 7-life boa used its tail to throw something forward. Its blood-red eyes flashed with a sharp glint. What the 7-life boa threw did not fly towards Ranqing Mo, but rather towards Su Changtian behind her. Seeing something flying towards him, he jumped up in panic. Su Changtian gripped the small sword tightly in his hand and shouted at the demon beasts, quickly think of a way, or I will drag you down with me to bear the consequences. And so, it placed him behind and used its entire body to block the painful strike from the 7-life boa. The 7-life boa seemed unwilling to stop, it opened its mouth, gathering strength to unleash a powerful surge of primordial energy. Su Changtian exclaimed, what the heck? But before the 7-life boa could complete its move, Ranqing Mo struck down with a powerful blow from above. The demon beast hurriedly pulled Su Changtian away from that spot. He frowned in confusion, it seems she really wants my life. Could it be that she was willing to go to any lengths to kill me before? It appears she is the one orchestrating this. The 7-life boa once again opened its mouth, gathering strength to create a massive primordial energy directed straight at Ranqing Mo. She calmly raised her sword high. 2 streams of power collided and then exploded. The earth and rocks around fell down, but the agile demon beast had safely carried Su Changtian away from there. He turned his head back, his heart murmuring, Mrs. Ran, you still have to take me to the cultivation cave at Xian Tian Cliff. The demon beast ran straight into the forest, finally coming to a stop. Su Changtian opened his eyes wide, astonished. This place might just be. A gap appeared in the towering mountain. He looked in that direction and exclaimed, Tianmen Mountain. Su Chang Tian gazed into the distance, murmuring to himself, is this the sword intent? Could it be that Tianmen at the top of this mountain has truly been pierced by someone's sword? He pondered, if there really is someone so strong, then wouldn't the northern monarch, who is at odds with my father on the Deyen throne, become a laughingstock? No matter how sophisticated their military tactics are, in the end, they cannot compete with a single sword strike from a supreme expert. What authority does such a monarch have? Suddenly, 2 streams of blood flowed from Su Chang Tian's nose. Fresh blood spurted into the air, causing the demon beasts to jump in fear. Su Chang Tian felt his body weaken noticeably. He looked at his blood-stained hands, his voice trembling. Is it really possible to end up like this just from seeing this sword intent a few times? This game world is indeed not something I can comprehend right now. Suddenly, a loud explosion occurred behind them, startling Su Chang Tian. What now? The black figure that appeared through the white smoke was the 7-life boa. 2 consecutive slashes were unleashed in the air, and the 7-life boa, unable to dodge, was wounded so badly that blood spurted everywhere. It collapsed helplessly where Su Chang Tian and the demon beasts were standing. He covered his face to block the dust while shouting loudly, what is happening again? A familiar figure slowly appeared above the 7-life boa. Ranqing Mo, her face drenched in sweat and her breath chaotic, lowered the blood-stained sword of the 7-life boa. Su Chang Tian joyfully called out, Mrs. Ran. However, Ranqing Mo did not respond. The sharp blade under her control sliced a line right above its head. Fresh blood gushed out like a waterfall, leaving Su Chang Tian stunned. The mouth exclaimed, this is, the serpent heart lotus. He quickly stepped forward, a multitude of information he had learned from playing this game flashing through his mind. To be precise, it's the 6-turn serpent heart lotus, one of the top alchemy materials in Song Yuan, with an exorbitant value, capable of refining the golden scale pill or the blood spirit body shift pill. The blood spirit body shift pill has the effect of calming the soul and merging the body. With it, I can counteract the rejection symptoms, integrate the body and will soul into one, leaving no gaps. The most crucial point is that one of the female protagonists of the game, like Ji Qingyu, has died just like that. The storyline that I once knew has changed because of my presence. Can my current understanding of this game really have an impact later on? Su Chang Tian, holding his head in despair, suddenly froze and looked up. Ranqing Mo's body staggered forward. Finally, she lost consciousness and collapsed helplessly. Su Chang Tian panicked and shouted, Mrs. Ran. He disregarded everything and rushed over to catch Ranqing Mo, lifting her into his arms. Su Chang Tian called out loudly, Mrs. Ran. Mrs. Ran. At the same time, in another place, 2 figures appeared from the sky in a snow-covered area, almost engulfing everything. Both glanced at the scene ahead. He clicked his tongue and sighed, fortunately, I'm not the only one chasing after them. By the time you report back, I might have frozen to death in this ice block. She analyzed seriously, 6-turn 7-life boa, adding 1 more life could stabilize the body completely. It must be an important figure from the snake demon clan in the demon realm. Hearing this, he bowed his head and said in a deep voice, the only one who can fight against a great demon like this and use that technique is that person, Ranqing Mo from the Sword Sect. She glanced at him and asked, are you saying that the 3rd young master has been captured by Ranqing Mo? He crossed his arms and shook his head, not sure, at least Ranqing Mo wants to protect the 3rd young master. Inform the Grand Young Master and the others that we have found the whereabouts of the 3rd Young Master. She frowned, but right now we still haven't. His eyes shone with determination as he interrupted her, we have been chasing all along, the person who kidnapped the 3rd Young Master did not take a detour. They want to go to Tianmen Mountain. Indeed, on a rocky outcrop near Tianmen Mountain, Su Chang Tian kept shaking Ranqing Mo, calling her name, Mrs. Ran. The surrounding mountainous scenery was desolate, with only indistinct rustling sounds. Ranqing Mo slowly opened her eyes and realized she was being carried by Su Chang Tian. She then whispered, where is the cultivation cave you mentioned? He was startled and hurriedly replied, it's below Xian Tian Cliff. The 2 stood high above, looking down into the bottomless abyss. Su Chang Tian suggested, you're injured so badly, maybe you should rest for a while before we set off. Ranqing Mo responded nonchalantly, but Su Chang Tian's father's people will be here soon. He was taken aback and exclaimed, what? Recalling the times the host's home had been mentally tormented before, Su Chang Tian felt extremely fearful. I'm doomed. If the host's home's father finds out I took over his son, I will at least be flayed alive. Seeing the changing expressions on his face, Ranqing Mo spoke up, you seem quite anxious. I won't tell anyone about you. Su Chang Tian immediately asked eagerly. Don't you know how takeover can be tested? She shook her head in confusion. Seeing this, Su Chang Tian leaned closer to her and asked, is your body capable of handling it right now? Ranqing Mo stammered, I am seriously injured. He placed her against the demon beast and anxiously paced back and forth, trying to think hard. Waiting here will only lead to death, we need to find a way. I've got it. As the idea flashed, he immediately turned to look at Ranqing Mo. Su Chang Tian once again lifted her up. Ranqing Mo looked at him in confusion, what do you want to do? Su Chang Tian smiled gently and said, Mrs. Ran, let's make a bet. She nodded, you go ahead. He spoke seriously, if we can survive, you owe me a favor and must help me with something. Ranqing Mo gazed into the distance for a long time, and finally, she slowly spoke, but we won't make it. Su Chang Tian angrily retorted, what I mean is, who knows, we might survive. If we can survive, then it definitely means my cultivation cave has saved us. I saved your life, so you owe me a favor, right? Ranqing Mo silently turned her eyes to another direction with a pensive expression. And then she agreed to his condition, all right, if I survive, I owe you a favor. Su Chang Tian smiled and said, let's settle on that. After finishing his sentence, he picked up Ranqing Mo and jumped into the abyss. The demon beasts watched the scene with wide eyes, letting out a startled cry. Su Chang Tian gritted his teeth, trying to keep his body balanced, thinking, if I remember correctly, Ranqing Mo's fortune is 93. The system indeed displayed the message, Fortune 93. The two of them continued to fall freely into the bottomless abyss. At the same time, in a forest not far away, a group of people jumped out from within the woods. He looked up and immediately recognized. He looked at the person and casually asked, you arrived quite early, have you found the third young master yet? The girl smirked mischievously, Zhutzen, the third young master was taken down the cliff by a woman, the mist under Shen Tian Cliff can obscure the will soul's probing. He dashed over to her, smiling, long time no see, didn't you go on a mission with the crown prince to the barbarians? When did you come back? After finishing this task, wait until we return to Jingjiang City, I invite you to drink at the Drunken Immortal Pavilion. Her face flushed slightly after his suggestion. She coldly pushed his hand away, her gaze becoming deep and serious. She reminded him, the grand young master has already arrived at Shen Tian Cliff, tone it down a bit. He shrugged in response, all right, let's discuss drinking separately then. But since you arrived first, you must know who kidnapped the third young master, right? She coldly replied, Ranqing Mo, moreover we actively sent a sound transmission, yet she still didn't pay attention. His face immediately darkened. He gritted his teeth and thought, it really is Ranqing Mo. CZ sent a sound transmission, and Ranqing Mo still managed to help the third young master escape. Could it be that there are conflicts between the Imperial Preceptor and Chancellor Lord that no one knows about? A few figures appeared in the sky, moving as swiftly as the wind. He was startled and quickly turned around. The two figures that just landed were a man and a woman, both with a cold and proud demeanor. The two immediately cupped their fists and said, we pay our respects to the grand young master. He said in a deep voice, the crazy origin illusory formation is indeed a long-planned scheme. I didn't expect Ranqing Mo to know that there is a maze here. This person is Chancellor Grand Young Master, Su Changgu. Su Changgu speculated, this formation was built together with Tianmen Mountain, and it cannot be forcibly broken. However, after a month, once the primordial energy is depleted, the fog will dissipate on its own. During this time, I ask you gentlemen to wait here. Ing Air, for now, you should not follow me, just wait here. The girl named Ing Air widened her eyes in surprise, Grand Young Master, where do you want to go? Su Changgu said nothing and turned to leave, the wind he created swirling around him. He turned back to look at everyone, his demeanor as imposing as a seven-life boa. Su Changgu coldly entrusted, "Gentlemen, I must temporarily leave for the ancient abyss. It will be a long journey of about a month, and I may not be able to return. Ranqing Mo is in your hands, do not hold back." As for Chang Tian, although he is very foolish and a complete useless person, no outsider has the right to discipline him. I hope you gentlemen will ensure Chang Tian's safety. The crowd below, after hearing the command, immediately shouted loudly, "Understood." After Su Changgu left, his face immediately showed signs of unease. 3 years ago, Chang'an left, and now if something happens to Chang Tian, what will my father do? A son like me can't stop him. In a cave, halfway up a tall mountain, a drop of water fell from above, hitting Su Chang Tian right in the middle of his forehead. He held his head and slowly sat up. Seeing this, Ranqing Mo immediately asked, "Are you awake? Can you let go of my hand?" At that moment, Su Chang Tian was startled, embarrassed to realize he was gripping her hand tightly. He retracted his hand, forced a smile, and thought to himself, with the luck only of the host's home, if I let go, I might have been shattered into pieces just now. Ranqing Mo leaned slightly, making Su Chang Tian feel confused. She gently bowed her head and said, "Thank you." He was momentarily taken aback. Why is this ice cube so sudden? Su Chang Tian cleared his throat a few times and said solemnly, "Mrs. Ran, these 2 words of thanks are the least valuable things in the world. We survived, so I win the bet. And now you owe me a favor." Ranqing Mo sat in a daze, contemplating what he had just said, then immediately recoiled, displaying a look of disgust. "What do you want to do?" Su Chang Tian exclaimed in grievance, "Do you think of something weird? Just leave it for now, there's nothing I need you to do for me at the moment." He turned around to look at the lake and the jade bed in the cave. He thought to himself, if I remember correctly, this hidden secret realm also has treasures. Then Su Chang Tian turned around and stood up in front of Ranqing Mo's bewildered expression. He rummaged under the pillow for a while and then smiled happily, "Indeed, it's here, the Sumeru ring." Unlike storage rings in some other immortal cultivation worlds, in this world, the Sumeru ring is a top-tier treasure. Unfortunately, the Sumeru ring requires primordial energy to activate, and a regular person like me won't be able to use it. Su Chang Tian angrily turned back to look at Ranqing Mo. He tossed the ring towards her and said, "Inside this is medicine for you and some items before I take over. I can't take it out right now, so I have to ask for your help." Ranqing Mo nodded and then closed her eyes to channel spiritual energy into the ring. It began to glow in her hand. A pile of different objects flew out from inside the ring. Ranqing Mo naively announced, "That's it." Su Chang Tian helplessly fell to the ground and said loudly, "I know." Picking up the items from the ground, he began to calculate. 1 skill book, 1 combat technique book, 1 blood jade robe, and 3 bottles of pills. Long transformation pill. Holy healing pill. Spirit blood integration pill, which has the effect of calming the soul and entering the spirit. Calamity demise pill, an essential item for cultivating the blood origin heart demise art. Handing the green pill bottle to Ranqing Mo, Su Chang Tian said, "You keep this transformation pill for healing, I won't give you the rest." She didn't ask for anything more and simply asked softly, "Can you give me a jade box?" At this moment, he noticed an object still lying on the ground, the jade box, "Just take it." Ranqing Mo nodded. She raised her hand to her chest to do something that startled Su Chang Tian. "What are you doing?" She conjured something red. Ranqing Mo replied, "I'll trade this with you." Su Chang Tian turned pale, thinking, I remember before jumping into the abyss, I had put something in my chest. It's highly likely that it was when I was unconscious. This iceberg stealthily retrieves her spoils. Letting out a sigh, he finally said, "I'll accept it, please help me put it into the Sumeru ring." Ranqing Mo nodded, "All right." Su Chang Tian quickly jumped onto the jade bed, examining the items he had just received. "Although I've obtained a blood spirit body shift pill, it can't be taken directly. This pill is highly beneficial for cultivators, but it can be extremely toxic for ordinary people." Seeing him sit on the bed, Ranqing Mo thought to herself, "I want to try sitting there too." Su Chang Tian stared intently at the blood origin heart demise art and made up his mind, I have no choice but to practice the blood origin heart demise art first, this is the only way to resolve the conflict between my body and will soul right now. Slowly flipping a page, Su Chang Tian focused on reading, live towards death to cultivate the divine soul. The original acupoint of the white sea vein, inhale the chi into the body, heart original will soul. His mood quickly sank. Su Chang Tian blinked in confusion, where am I? Who am I? What are these things? He held his head in despair, reality truly cannot be like in the game. A click is enough to learn right away. Telling an ordinary person like us to learn the blood red skill level in the origin book is no different from asking a primary school student to create a nuclear bomb. Su Chang Tian's gaze fell on the blue pill beside him. He picked it up, and his face became serious. If I only take the blood spirit body shift pill, my body will explode and die. So, would taking both the calamity demise pill and the blood spirit body shift pill at the same time be more effective? Su Chang Tian used all the gaming knowledge he had learned to think. In the early stage, the effect of the calamity demise pill will directly target the meridians, but for an ordinary person like me, it will directly break apart on a physical level. The meridians will completely crack, and my little life will be on the brink of death. At this moment, the Phase 2 effect of the calamity demise pill spreads, accelerating the diffusion of will soul countless times. But as long as I timely take the blood spirit body shift pill, I can utilize it to refine will soul again. Su Chang Tian began to analyze. The two opposing herbs blend into one, combined with the skill operation of the blood origin heart demise art, the will soul in the body will continuously diffuse and then refine. Repeating over and over will eventually lead to a perfect alignment of body and soul. Once successful, not only will the soul be condensed, but the 127 meridians in the body will also be completely unblocked. Opening the system interface, he looked up information while reminding himself, the meridian system is a very important setup in the original text. The more meridians a character has unblocked, the less experience is needed to level up. This means I will become a top genius in this world. No, I need to calm down first. Su Chang Tian shook his head, trying to steady himself. Ranqing Mo had been quietly observing him, her expression somewhat perplexed. Su Chang Tian picked up the book again to continue studying, opportunities and dangers always coexist. The art of blood origin heart demise states very clearly that to successfully cultivate it, one must use strong willpower at the moment of death to maintain clarity and channel the skill. Right now, there is only one way. Su Chang Tian turned to Ranqing Mo with bright eyes. He rushed over, grabbing her hand tightly, and smiled brightly, Mrs. Ran, help me. Ranqing Mo was taken aback, hesitating to ask, do you want to use that favor? Su Chang Tian was dancing with his hands and feet while explaining, I want you to teach me some basic knowledge related to cultivation, such as inhaling qi and the will soul. Upon hearing this, she slowly stood up and said, you don't need to use any favors, I can teach you. He immediately became excited, great, then let's start now. Ranqing Mo nodded and casually said, okay, take off your clothes. Su Chang Tian instantly felt embarrassed and turned red, glancing away awkwardly, in this cave, with a man and a woman, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to take off my clothes, right? Ranqing Mo frowned, her face showing annoyance and frustration. She sighed and explained softly, your injury is quite severe, your control over qi has decreased significantly. Wearing clothes might cause you more harm. Su Chang Tian felt reassured after hearing this and began to take off his clothes, why didn't you say that earlier? After he had removed his shirt, Su Chang Tian innocently asked, do I need to take off my pants too? Ranqing Mo emitted a strong evil energy that startled him, and he quickly waved his hand, all right, I understand I don't need to. She coldly commanded, lie down. Su Chang Tian obeyed and leaned back onto the jade bed. As soon as Ranqing Mo's hand touched his body, he flinched. She explained while working, my energy will enter your body, teaching you to distinguish the acupoints, it might hurt a little right now. Ranqing Mo began to use her spiritual energy on Su Chang Tian. This is the Huinguin acupoint, this is the Bok Hui acupoint, this is the Taijung acupoint, this is the Then Din acupoint, this is the Nimon acupoint, this is the Tin Min acupoint. Each time Ranqing Mo mentioned an acupoint, Su Changtian's face grew paler from the pain. She casually asked, "Have you memorized these?" He trembled and panted as he replied, "I remember them roughly." Ranqing Mo frowned in dissatisfaction, "Roughly?" Su Changtian pouted in frustration, "Can you stop looking at me like I'm an idiot?" Grasping his hand, Ranqing Mo coldly said, "I will teach you again. This is..." The pain surged into his brain once more, causing Su Changtian to panic and scream. His miserable scream echoed throughout the desolate mountains and forests, sounding pitiful. Time passed quickly, and Ranqing Mo added another stroke on the stone with her hand and softly said, "It has been a month now." The figure in front of her was continuously swinging the sword decisively into the air. The final sword strike was unleashed before she returned the sword to its sheath. Su Changtian exhaled deeply and spoke with determination, "I have learned the lotus flower sword formula that you taught me, and I am completely familiar with the meridians now." Ranqing Mo nodded in satisfaction from the side. Looking at the bit of spiritual energy appearing in his palm, he thought to himself, after practicing for a month, I should be able to try using the blood origin heart demise art now. Suddenly, loud noises erupted, causing the entire cave to tremble. Su Changtian was startled and confused, "What's happening?" Ranqing Mo calmly replied, "The formation outside is about to break." Indeed, that was the case. Outside the mountain, the formation she had created was also beginning to shake. Su Changtian hurriedly asked, "How much time is left?" Ranqing Mo raised 2 fingers and answered, 2 watches. The tremors outside grew increasingly violent. Su Changtian swallowed hard, thinking, right now, the Su family members are all outside. If we don't merge the divine soul, once discovered, both Ranqing Mo and I will have only one way to die. In just 2 hours, even if it means death, I must take the risk. After making up his mind, he turned to Ranqing Mo and asked, "Mrs. Ran, can you put me in a near-death state?" She nodded curiously, "Sure, but why?" Su Changtian's face became serious, "To save both our lives." Hearing this, Ranqing Mo stood up straight and said, "But my injury has already healed." He quickly explained, "I know you're healed, but Su Changgu is still outside the cave." Su Changtian recalled an event from a game. In the storyline, Su Changgu hunts Ranqing Mo and eventually catches up with her at the Dayen border, using only 2 moves to seriously injure her. Thinking of this, Su Changtian shook his head gently. For the past 10 years, Su Changji's aura has reached the primordial level. You are no match for him. Or you could use my body to threaten Su Changgu to let us escape from here. Putting his sword back in its sheath, Ranqing Mo sighed softly, "I owe you another favor. Let's discuss the plan after you are near death." Su Changtian climbed onto the jade bed, and after sitting up straight, he began to speak. "It puts me in a near-death state, but I still have to stay alert. Just take the Calamity Demise pill and the Blood Spirit Body Shift pill simultaneously, then practice the Blood Origin Heart Demise art to fully merge my divine soul." Ranqing Mo hesitated a bit, "Will you be okay like that?" Su Changtian replied firmly, "This is the only way now." Knowing she couldn't stop him, she nodded in agreement, "If so, then you need to be prepared." Ranqing Mo used her internal energy to send spiritual energy directly towards Su Changtian, who was sitting down. He felt pain but couldn't make a sound. "It hurts so much, it's so cold, is this what it feels like to be near death? Damn it, I can't hold on any longer." Seeing Su Changtian's body sway and fall, Ranqing Mo tapped his forehead and said, "Don't sleep." Su Changtian sighed in relief, "Thank you." At that moment, he suddenly poured 2 bottles of pills into his mouth, the liquid mixing together as it flowed down his throat. The veins on Su Changtian's face bulged, and he gritted his teeth, screaming loudly. Spiritual energy increasingly radiated around Su Changtian's body, drawing the puzzled gaze of Ranqing Mo. He gritted his teeth and read the formula, "Live towards death to cultivate the divine soul." Su Changtian took out the book, Blood Origin Heart Demise Art. It immediately released a stream of spiritual energy that penetrated his body. A deep red aura gathered right above Su Changtian's head. He braced himself to withstand it. Then Su Changtian fell into the memories of the host's home. "Useless person, you can't even do this right. In the past, the host's home had been a lecherous person who looked down on everyone. He frightened a female servant who was bathing, making her tremble in fear. "Young master, please don't do that." The voice from the memory echoed once again, "If I see you embarrass yourself outside again, I will have to beat you to death on behalf of your father. You wretched thing, look at the good deeds you've done in the imperial capital, your cultivation is a mess, and your exam results are pathetic. Su Chang Tian, can't you learn from your second brother and fourth sister? Su Chang Tian, it's indeed been a long time since we last met, I must look at you with a different perspective. I was on a mission to the barbarians for no more than 3 months, just returned home, and you've already done this good deed. You're something else. Now you even dare to touch the niece of Wuqing Marquis. Ing Air, bring me the largest whip." Memories shattered into fragments at this point. They coalesced into a sword that shot straight into the top of Su Chang Tian's head. His body trembled slightly before he exhaled sharply. Ranqing Mo looked towards the cave entrance and said, "The formation outside has disappeared, they are coming soon." Su Chang Tian calmly nodded, "I know." He pulled a cloak around himself and stepped firmly off the jade bed. Ranqing Mo immediately sensed the difference in the aura emanating from Su Chang Tian. She parted her lips, "You," then calmly added, "My name is Ranqing Mo." He smiled slightly and replied, "I know, my name is Su Chang Tian." Ranqing Mo speculated, "It seems you have successfully fused your divine soul." Su Chang Tian looked at her and nodded in affirmation. The sounds of the earth grew increasingly clear, and rocks in the cave began to fall more frequently. Su Chang Tian exhaled, "What is meant to come will come." Outside, small rocks rolled down the mountainside into the abyss. 4 figures appeared from the other side. A cold voice rang out, "Mrs. Ran, please come out." Ranqing Mo immediately reached for the sword at her waist, ready to fight. However, at that moment, Su Chang Tian raised his hand to stop her. "Don't say anything, let me handle this," he stepped forward to face the group. "Mrs. Ran has not harmed me, do not lay a hand on her, let her go." Su Chang Tian raised his hand to shield his eyes from the sun and looked towards them. His gaze slightly narrowed as he thought, "I have memories of this woman, she is Ing Air, every time Su Chang Gu struck me. She stood to the side, brandishing a weapon." Ing Air turned to the man beside her and said, "Jutsun, take the third young master away." Jutsun nodded, understood. Knowing what the group intended to do, Su Chang Tian channeled his spiritual energy into his right hand, leaving them momentarily stunned. He coldly said, "I said, let Mrs. Ran leave." Ranqing Mo stood behind him, silently staring at Su Chang Tian's sturdy back. Her expression briefly darkened. Ing Air frowned in annoyance, "Third young master, we want to save you, what do you mean by this?" Su Chang Tian replied coldly and firmly. "Saving me and letting Mrs. Ran go are not contradictory to each other." Seeing his determination, another voice echoed, "Let her leave, just bring Chang Tian up here." The group responded respectfully, "Yes." Su Chang Tian furrowed his brow and guessed, "My gauge must be up there." He then turned back and gently spoke to Ranqing Mo, "You can go now, Mrs. Ran." She silently walked toward Su Chang Tian. Just as Ranqing Mo passed by, he whispered, "The cooperation we agreed upon earlier, if you change your mind, you can come find me in Jingjiang City." She nodded slightly, "Okay." She suddenly jumped into the air. Ranqing Mo coldly flew over the group, and before she completely left, although she didn't turn back, she said goodbye, "Su Chang Tian, take care." Su Chang Tian smiled in response, "Mrs. Ran, take care." The space returned to silence. He looked up and commanded, "Take me up." Ing Air quickly jumped down from the cliff. She took Su Chang Tian up and then roughly threw him to the ground. Su Chang Tian angrily shouted, "Can't you be a bit gentler?" Ing Air put on an indifferent expression and let out a cold snort. Having arrived here, Su Chang Tian finally took notice of the surroundings. In front of him was a 7-life boa buried beneath the ground. Sitting atop it was a figure dressed in black and white. Su Chang Gu looked coldly at Su Chang Tian. He opened his eyes wide in disbelief. The 7 lotus flowers on the head of this 7-life boa had bloomed. Moreover, a huge dark green horn had also grown on the head of this serpent. Judging by its characteristics, this serpent must be Ji Qingyu's sister, Ji Fenghua. The plot of Tsang Yuan had just begun, and the princess sisters of the snake demon clan in the ancient abyss had been exterminated. 2 important female leads had died. This indicated that the butterfly effect had started to cause the plot of Tsang Yuan to spiral out of control. The future was beginning to look unpredictable. Su Changgu slowly stood up, holding a rope in his hand. Su Changtian looked on in confusion. Just then, the rope shot towards him with force. Su Changtian jumped away, dodging the strike. In his heart, he lamented, "Is this what they call an older brother?" At 20 years old, still playing the role of a violent teacher. He pointed at Su Changji's face and shouted, "Su Changgu, I warn you." Another blow struck toward Su Changtian. He bent down, continuing to dodge the attack. The opponent swung his hand without stopping, his face revealing no expression. This time, the rope struck right in front of Su Changtian. He immediately reached out to grab it. In an instant, the rope was incinerated by the energy in Su Changtian's hand. He coldly asked, "Su Changgu, are you serious?" The opponent maintained his cold expression, not responding at all. Su Changgu frowned, "This skill is quite impressive." He coldly concentrated his power and tightly bound Su Changtian, suppressing him. "Damn it, the whirlwind pressure is making it impossible for me to move," he grimaced, clenching his fist, lifting Su Changtian into the air, causing him to shout loudly, "Su Changgu, what do you really want?" Su Changji's silence made Su Changtian panic. Wait, has he realized something? He turned his head, "Ju Xing Great Master, please check Changtian's body." The master nodded, "All right." He jumped in front of him, "Third young master, please allow me to intrude." Su Changtian's mind raced. Ju Xing the monk seems to have a way to test whether the will soul belongs to the body or not. Indeed, Su Changgu is suspecting me. Now is the time to stay calm and think about what Su Changtian will do. His strength erupted, "Damn it, let me go." Su Changgu stood at a distance and asked, "Ju Xing Great Master, if you find anything on Changtian, feel free to speak up." He was surprised and hesitated, "Grand young master, there is nothing concerning about the third young master's body, it's just." He frowned, "Just what?" Su Changtian struggled and threatened, "If you don't let me go, I will report to my father when I get back." Ju Xing continued, "The third young master seems to have become an immortal heavenly Tao body now." Su Changgu was surprised, "Immortal heavenly Tao body?" He dropped him unexpectedly, causing him to be unprepared, ouch. Immediately after, he appeared right in front of him, making him defensive, "Su Changgu, what are you looking at? Once my cultivation catches up to yours, you will surely die." Su Changgu smiled disdainfully, "You think someone as useless as you can do that?" Having a bit of opportunity, the tail has already perked up to the sky. "When we return to Jingjiang City, I will deal with you." He turned away and signaled for the giant bird to land. "What are you standing there for? Do you want me to tie you up or something?" Su Changtian said in panic. Although I've seen it in the game, seeing the giant bird in real life is still a bit overwhelming. They took turns climbing onto the 3rd floor on its back. The giant bird spread its wings and flew away. Inside the building, Su Changgu leaned his chin in annoyance, "Why are you staring at me like that?" Su Changtian stammered, "And no, it's nothing." He recalled, "If I remember correctly, in the later part of a world line in Songyuan, Ji Fenghua once fought against Su Changgu. Su Changgu was defeated in a narrow margin, and then Ji Fenghua, covered in injuries, transformed into a massive serpent and swallowed him whole, leading to his death and the destruction of his Tao. But now Su Changgu has gone straight to Ji Fenghua's hometown to behead her. What happened in the later part of the story? Did Ji Fenghua suddenly become stronger, or did my elder brother grow weaker? Ing Er came in to report, "Young master, we have arrived at Jingjiang." He put the teacup down and nodded. Su Changtian curiously looked outside. "It's my first time entering the inner city since coming to this world, I wonder what Jingjiang City will really look like." In Jingjiang City, Su Changgu kicked him into the room, "Stay here and reflect on yourself." He fell down and cried out, "Ouch, can't you be a little gentler?" He threw several elixirs that surprised him. Su Changgu turned away. Your health has been compromised these days, you can use these pills to heal yourself. Su Changtian poured out the pills and saw them. Tan Lam Dan accelerated the recovery effect of Will Soul, while also enhancing the Will Soul's ability, allowing one to sense primordial energy for a period of time. Quang Lang Dan strengthened the solidity of the meridians, a divine medicine that reinforced the foundation. Ho Mok Dan allowed the user to perform skills continuously for 12 hours without worrying about damaging the meridians. Daik Han Dan could refine the Will Soul. He was delighted. This isn't just healing, it's even better than the newbie gift when starting the game. Su Changgu may seem cold on the outside, but he treats his younger brother like me quite well. A knock on the door caught his attention. Who is it? Ing Er entered with a bowl of medicine. Third young master, your medicinal meal is ready. Su Changtian recalled memories from the host's home. The lecherous Su Changtian once had designs on Ing Er, even asking Su Changgu for her while in the imperial capital. The result was, of course, a beating. Su Changgu still doesn't fully trust me, sending Ing Er to protect and monitor me at the same time. He smiled dangerously. As a result, Su Changgu still gifted her to me. Ing Er looked at him and then turned her back, ignoring him. He was infuriated and plotted. Damn it, how can you just ignore me? I have to show you a lesson. Su Changtian touched her backside, but he felt no reaction, leaving him puzzled. Not avoiding it. Didn't this woman dodge all the lewd actions from the host's home before? Am I not being outrageous enough? At that moment, a shadow struck, cutting his hand, causing him to panic. My hand, my hand. Startled awake, he realized it was just an illusion. Su Changtian stepped back. You, what do you mean? Ing Er glanced at him and walked outside. He was furious, kicking the medicinal meal away and shouting loudly. I want to kill you for treating me like this. I must tell my father to kill you. Damn it. Just wait until I achieve cultivation, I want to cripple your meridians and lock you in the dungeons. Zhu Tsun sat on the rooftop laughing loudly, haha, even daring to touch that woman's butt, truly worthy of being the third young master, his courage is indeed astonishing. The swordsman beside him was not surprised. In this matter, the courage of the third young master has always been different from ordinary people. Previously, the niece of Wuqing Marquis was also kidnapped by him and brought to the Chancellor's residence. Zhu Tsun was astonished, is that so? I remember that princess just came to the capital to meet her relatives a year ago, right? She is the niece of the northern military minister in the court, and he dared to kidnap her. The third young master has quite a character. The swordsman calmly replied, if not, then why do you think the third young master came from the imperial capital to Jingjiang City a year ago? Zhu Tsun stroked his chin and asked, so, did that succeed? The swordsman was helpless, are you still interested in this matter? He picked his teeth, if you can't say it, then forget it. The swordsman continued recounting, almost. At that moment, just as I was in charge of the safety of the third young master, the eldest son of Wuqing Marquis led people into the Chancellor's residence to rescue someone. Zhu Tsun suddenly remembered, I recall his temper isn't that good. Has the third young master not been beaten to death yet? The swordsman shook his head. At that time, the grand young master was in the estate, but he didn't know that the girl was the granddaughter of Wuqing Marquis. He fell silent and furrowed his brows. What you mean is that the little princess just entered the city, hasn't even met her relatives, and has already been kidnapped by the third young master. What a coincidence. The swordsman looked up and sighed, of course, it's not such a coincidence. The third young master said he was incited, but he doesn't remember who incited him. Doesn't remember? Zhu Tsun began to ponder, someone must have used methods to disturb the memory of the third young master. The Wuqing Marquis and Chancellor Lord have never gotten along. After this incident, it will surely become even more intense. He suddenly realized, wait, that's not right. He doesn't remember, but someone like you, a grandmaster, also doesn't remember. The swordsman confirmed seriously, I don't remember either. Zhu Tsun fell silent. Zhu Tsun couldn't believe that someone from the primordial realm. The swordsman shook his head, I'm not sure anymore. Chancellor Lord has arranged for an investigation for over a year, but there have been no results yet. Right, let's not forget the task that Grand Young Master assigned to us. Zhu Cin didn't care, don't worry, isn't it just teaching third young master to cultivate? At Drunken Immortal Pavilion, a man slammed the table and stood up, absurd, absurd. That Su Changgu went to ancient abyss and killed a mere little snake demon, and yet he is welcomed back to the capital with national ceremonies by the crown prince. The person across from him quietly interrupted, Li brother, you are drunk, just talking nonsense. The man named Li brother argued, I am not drunk. The emperor has been silent in the palace for a long time. Now the crown prince goes outside the city to welcome him, it must be the prime minister's faction paving the way for his eldest son. Su Chen-he, in the position of prime minister, has an obvious ambition. Not to mention the temporary alliances for profit, there are rumors that he has control over the military. His third son, Su Changtian, is no better than a beast, forcing women and oppressing the people. Suddenly, a voice came from behind, a scholar without official title slandering the loyal ministers of the dynasty. Do you think Jingjiang City has no secret investigation bureau? Li brother angrily turned back, so what if the investigation bureau comes? Everything I say is the truth that others dare not speak. The man in the shadows smiled faintly, so what? Why not inform them and see what happens? At this moment, the atmosphere was as silent as a sheet. On the top floor of the Drunken Immortal Pavilion, Su Changtian stood observing everything. I never expected to witness such a good show, but I can't do anything about it. The person you're cursing is Su Changtian. What does that have to do with me, Su Yuan? Zhu Cin sluggishly stepped out, is third young master still standing here? He glanced over, thinking to himself, this guy claims to be my bodyguard and teacher, yet as soon as he arrived at the Drunken Immortal Pavilion, he's already freeloading. He just went upstairs and embraced two maidens before heading into a room. He coldly smiled and asked, so, are you done? That was quick. The young man hurriedly cleared his throat to hide his embarrassment. Not at all, don't jump to conclusions. I'm not close to women, it's just necessary for the skill, and it's only right to be a bit quicker. Third young master, aren't you going out to have fun? Su Changtian turned away, does Mr. Zhu not recognize my health situation? After cultivating, I discovered that my body had become severely weakened due to my past indulgence. At this rate. So I won't be partying for now. In short, if there are any issues with my cultivation, I will find you. You can relax. Zhu Cin comfortably embraced the two beautiful women and turned away. I thought the third young master was someone with similar aspirations. Su Changtian chuckled lightly, Mr. Zhu, I don't want to be someone with similar aspirations to you. He paused and happily walked into the room, indeed still someone with similar aspirations. He coldly looked down, compared to fulfilling physical needs, my purpose here is, to deal with the next person who wants to take my life. He sat down to drink tea and signaled for someone outside, come in. Shui Yong clasped his hands and reported, the third young master has found the person you had us investigate quietly. He thought resentfully, damn it, because I was kidnapped, Su Changgu killed all my guards, and I could only mobilize the guards beside my father's adopted daughter, who is also the fourth lady. Su Changtian coldly pressed, who is it? He continued reporting, it is the young official you wanted to find before. This surprised him. Isn't she the main character in the story? Changtian inquired. Is that woman at Shaoxiang Pavilion in the south of the city? Shui Yong shook his head. No, she is at Drunken Immortal Pavilion, and tomorrow is her wedding day. He was taken aback, cursing silently. Damn it, the plot has gone off course again. After returning to Jingjiang City, among the various ways the original body died, several were due to this young official. The reason was simple, jealousy and rivalry with the main character, ultimately getting killed by the main character in the story. However, that plot happened at Shaoxiang Pavilion in the south of the city. I had deliberately stayed at Drunken Immortal Pavilion in the north for an entire month. Incredible, I didn't expect this woman to follow me all the way here. It was as if she had come specifically to stir up conflict between me and the main character. Su Changtian continued to ask, how long has she been here? He replied gently, yes, for more than half a month. Hearing this answer, he angrily snapped, Shui Yong, I ordered you to start investigating this woman 20 days ago. Only now, close to her wedding, do you get this information? Shui Yong calmly accepted the blame, subordinate is incompetent, please punish me, young master. He was angry and crushed the teacup. Now I understand why the original body is so sensitive and outrageously furious. Lady 4 looks down on the third young master, and everyone in the Chancellor's residence knows it. Who would have thought that a servant would have such virtue? The difference in cultivation is still there, hitting him would only hurt myself. Even drawing a sword to strike wouldn't be able to injure him. He stood up. Shueyong is 22 years old, at the peak of the 6th rank, and entering the 5th rank is within reach. It seems that the little sister values you highly. A young talent like you indeed has the right to be arrogant. If you want to punish, then so be it. He clenched his fist, calculating, although I just reached the 9th rank, a sudden ambush should be able to inflict damage on him. I must establish my authority. You appeared behind Shueyong, startling him. Jutsun, how long has he been there? You shook your head, leaving him confused. Suddenly, a ray of light struck from behind Shueyong, catching him off guard and making him scream. Jutsun casually drank his wine and criticized, a guard daring to disrespect the third young master, are all those under Lady 4 so unruly? Third young master, should we just discard this useless person or kill him outright? Su Chang Tian fell silent and then chuckled lightly, Mr. Zhu, are you willing to lend a hand to help me? He cheerfully replied, third young master has been treating me at the Drunken Immortal Pavilion for quite a while, so I should at least do something in return. He was truly at a loss for words, this can indeed be considered a reason. Over the past month, this guy has really enjoyed himself to the fullest. Jutsun smiled innocently and asked again, third young master, is this person to be discarded or killed? He was tired, damn it, this Jutsun is also probing me. It seems that my kidnapping and return with a cultivation body raises too many suspicions. Given the sensitive and brutal nature of the original body. He walked past the boy and then turned back to order, Mr. Zhu, I don't want to see this person again. Shueyong screamed in panic, no, Lord Zhu, I realize my mistake, you can't kill me. If you kill me, according to the rules set by the Chancellor, you will also be punished. Jutsun laughed loudly, yes, you're right. But the one who wants to kill you is the third young master, what does that have to do with me? A blade came forward, leaving only his screams. Jutsun stepped out and announced, it's resolved, but the fourth lady's side might be a bit troublesome. After all, she values Shueyong very much. Su Chang Tian replied sharply, values? What does that matter? If it weren't for the fact that my mother took in that concubine as a foster daughter, who knows where she would be selling her laughter now. She's just a bastard child. At that moment, the introduction sounded, now, please welcome the sisters Ziyi and Zihua to the stage. The crowd below was excited, finally, we've been waiting for this. Amazing. Jutsun hurriedly boasted, third young master, these two sisters are really talented, I watch them dance every day. The elder sister's waist, the junior sister's legs, although a bit pricey, they are definitely worth the money. How about, third young master, you call them up here. He was genuinely frightened, this expert is too shameless. He reiterated, Mr. Zhu, I told you, I don't want to be someone who shares the same aspirations with you. The boy felt wronged, if we're not sharing the same aspirations, can't I just go through the back door? Su Chang Tian wearily turned away, forget about this guy, let's focus on the main task first. Jutsun hurriedly called him back, third young master, do you want to cultivate? Recently, I have nothing to do and can stay by your side to assist you in your training. He was slightly intrigued, assist in cultivation. The boy quickly explained, this is my special skill. I can use my will soul to refine the primordial energy around us, then gather it by your side. You just need to refine it. He nodded, is there such a method? The boy cheerfully tempted him, of course, third young master, do you need it? Su Chang Tian declined, not for now. The boy was puzzled, then third young master, what are you? He didn't turn back, I'm going downstairs to find Madam. Tomorrow, there's a beauty getting married at the Drunken Immortal Pavilion. Madam greeted him with a bright smile, third young master, you're here so early. I haven't even finished combing my hair. Third young master, is there something you need? If it's about the two of us, then this body of mine. He interrupted, two things. She was delighted, go ahead, I'm listening. Su Changtian stated his purpose. The first thing is to take Ziyi and Zihua to the top floor. Madam hesitated. This depends on the wishes of my two daughters. Immediately, she changed her attitude, but if third young master needs it, we have no such rules anymore. I will arrange it right away. Third young master, what is the second thing? He smiled slightly as he revealed his main purpose. The second thing is to bring your new beauty from the drunken immortal pavilion to my room.